49ers update. This team is dealing with a lot of injuries. This game against Arizona might be a little bit more dangerous than the spread, which is currently 13.5 points, indicates. The 49ers might be down as many as 6 defensive starters. And on the offensive side of the ball, a late addition to the injury report. Aaron Banks, the starting left guard, has a hip issue. He did not practice today. The other starting guard, Spencer Burford, returned to practice from his knee issue in a limited capacity. So at least the 49ers had one of the guys out there for part of practice, but it's a bit reminiscent of what happened Thanksgiving week when the 49ers had both guards on the injury report. They had assigned Ben Barch off of Jacksonville's practice squad. Ultimately, Aaron Banks toughed it out through a turf toe injury. That might have saved the 49ers a lot of trouble. We'll find out more about the guard situation tomorrow. But, you know, the 49ers offense lit up Arizona in week 4. And already for a couple days, I've been saying I think the 49ers offense might need to be the horse that pulls the cart on Sunday, because the defense obviously had already lost Talanoa Hufanga, but now they may be down both starting defensive tackles. Javon Hargrave with the hamstring, and Eric Armstead next to him with the foot and the knee issues. And against the mobile quarterback like Kyler Murray, it's going to put a whole lot of strain on the backup interior defensive linemen. Javon Kinlaw, Kalia Davis, Kevin Givens, maybe even T.Y. McGill. That's somebody the 49ers can call up off the practice squad, but it doesn't seem all too likely that the 49ers will have their starting defensive tackles. Hargrave seems to have a better chance than Eric Armstead. Javon was working off on the side today, but it still seems that the 49ers might be trying to circle the wagons for the game against Baltimore, which is happening the Monday following this game against Arizona. The injuries on defense stretch past the defensive line. Linebacker position, Dre Greenlaw missed practice today with a hip issue. The third linebacker, Oren Burks, is expected to miss a couple weeks with knee tendonitis. So that's 2 defensive tackles, 2 stack linebackers, 4 total starters, just right there in the front 7 when you consider the base package that might and probably will miss this game, although we're still TBD on the Dre Greenlaw evaluation. He seemed fine after the game. He got clipped by Fred Warner last Sunday against the Seahawks in a friendly fire incident, so we'll see if Dre's back out at practice tomorrow and if the 49ers can make that happen with him, because he's obviously somebody that you do want on the field against Kyler Murray. And not just Kyler who can run, but Trey McBride is a surging tight end for Arizona, and against the team with a tight end who's playing good football, you don't want to be losing stack linebackers, and you also don't want to be losing any defensive backs. And on the back end, Charvarius Ward, he warmed up with the team today during stretches, but his groin issue also kept him out of practice. So the 49ers may be down a starting DB. That is obviously starter number 5 that the 49ers might be missing, and we already counted Talanoa Hufanga, who's on injured reserve earlier. So gut check time for the 49ers when you look at all of those injuries. Again, Spencer Burford was back. Darrell Luter Jr. back for a second straight day without issue. So the 49ers healing up on those ends, but the injury list is a lot longer than the list of players returning. And they are big favorites over the Cardinals, but a big emphasis from Kyle Shanahan and Steve Wilkes today was that Arizona seems better than their record. 3-10, but they're 2-2 over their last 4 games. They started 1-8. The defense is playing better with the return of Budda Baker, who didn't play against the 49ers in week 4. And the offense is different with Kyler Murray at the helm, and they can stretch a defense, especially one that's shorthanded in many different ways. So I think, I look at this as another maturity test. Last week was the ultimate maturity test coming off the game against Philadelphia. This week, the 49ers have to make sure that they're not looking ahead to their showdown with the Baltimore Ravens, but they must also flex their depth, and they have a lot of it on this football team. I mentioned several of the names that might be filling in, but definitely don't take the Arizona Cardinals for granted, because this is a game that's going to strain the 49ers. I think it's very clear right now. On top of all that, Arizona is coming off of a bye week. The 49ers net rest disadvantage really big this year. They're playing 3 or 4 teams coming off of bye weeks. This is one of them, and it just so happens that the 49ers health situation isn't great. So a lot on the line here for the 49ers as they gun for that number 1 seed, and they're going to try to show that they can fight through some adversity to get yet another gritty win, coming off of several gritty wins. A lot of blowouts too. This one is might be harder to put the opponent away in that kind of fashion, just given the lack of resources that the 49ers might be dealing with on the defensive side of the football. I'm going to tack on a quick interview here with Christian McCaffrey, who spoke of Brock Purdy and the 49ers offense. Remember, it is that 49ers offense, because they're healthier right now than the defense, that may have to tug the train this week in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to see receivers blocking down the field like that, care so much about the run game.
Was Brock trying to initially block somebody?
Hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully he just stays out of the way.
But he got far downfield on that play. So was that just him being
He
excited?
probably thought I was going to score, which I should have, and went to celebrate.
So honestly, how mad were you that you didn't score?
I was mad.
Were you surprised how quickly Brock got down there?
I don't know. Not really. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's, he had a long time. I should have scored a long time ago, but yeah, it's cool to see.
Are you surprised how fast Wisnowski can run?
No, I mean, he was an Aussie football player, and he's a hell of an athlete. So, no, it didn't shock any of us.
Are you surprised by the commitment of the wide receivers here in blocking in the run game?
I used to be surprised. Yeah, not anymore. I mean, they do it every single week, so it's pretty incredible. I definitely don't take it for granted, though.
Was it a surprise when you first came here?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Since you've been here, how much of what goes on here is self-sustaining because of the culture? In terms of the people in the locker room and holding each other accountable, not just the coaches telling you what to do.
Yeah, I think the culture is incredible, and it's a huge reason why, you have success. When you have a bunch of guys who are bought into the details, who take care of their bodies, who work in the weight room extremely hard, stay after, come in early, it's contagious. And this team has that.
There's not a lot of, I don't know, for lack of a better word, head games here, is there? I mean, it just seems like it's laid out. This is what's expected of you. This is what you're going to do.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think everyone's treated like a pro, and you have expectations, and if you don't meet those, and if you don't do it the right way, you kind of just hurt yourself, and sooner or later you're out of here. And that's, I think, such a healthy environment, because you can just completely be yourself and focus on executing.
Did you kind of catch that vibe right away when you first started playing for Coach Shanahan? And just what else strikes you about his coaching style?
I think, everything's just about football. He lets guys be themselves, but there's such a high standard when it comes to the football, when it comes to the tape. And you don't have to say anything. You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to do this or that, as long as the tape looks good. And that's, to me, one of the coolest things about this place is you have so many different personalities and characters, but everyone's standard is to buy in the right way when it comes to playing on the field and in between the white lines. And if you don't, like I said, you're kind of just an outcast.
We talked coaches that the Cardinals are 3-10, but the message has been, not look at that record, look at the tape. That doesn't look like a 3-10 team. Has that resonated with you guys the more you watch them?
Yeah, they're not the record's one thing, but I don't look at them as a 3-10 team at all. They play hard. They're fast. They run to the ball extremely well. Obviously with Buda Baker in there, I have the utmost respect for him. Have for a long time. They're a really good team, and can hurt you in a lot of different ways. So just like any other week, though, it's always going to be about us and executing and not hurting ourselves, not making mistakes, and just sticking to the script and going out there and balling out. But yeah, it's a very good football team.
Does their defense, do they look different now than they did in the first time you met them?
Yeah, they do. They not in any better or not in any positive or negative way. The first time we played them, they had a bunch of guys that fly around to the ball too. I don't think the character's always been there for that defense. It always has. If you watch how they play, it stands out on the tape, and I think we all have a lot of respect for that and know what we have coming on Sunday. So for us, it's just, like I said, about executing and taking what's given to us on any given play.
All good, guys?
Thanks, Chris.